Hi, welcome to Oracle ADF training. This is Oracle ADF beginners course from adftraining.com. Now we are going to discuss about the MVC architecture for ADF developers. MVC architecture is not specific to ADF alone. Other frameworks also uses MVC architecture. But the only difference is the ADF is born with MVC architecture. Other frameworks adopted MVC architecture along the line, for example, .NET, PHP, all those things. And ADF fully supports MVC architecture. And of course, you can break the MVC architecture with ADF custom coding. But then the recommended approach is to follow the MVC architecture while developing an ADF application. Okay, the core MVC, M stands for model, V stands for view, and C stands for controller. The model is the one where we write our business logic, and also it is used to for encapsulation of data, and also it can use to access the data. And the view is for the presentation layer, and the controller is the one which responds to the user action, and also it delegates activity to the model layer based on the user action as well. This is the MVC architecture flow. We have model, view, and controller. Now when somebody presses a button in your page, the controller responds to that user action, then delegates the activity to the model, and then responds with the data to the view layer. The view layer here is nothing but the presentation layer. And what are the benefits of using MVC architecture? One, faster development process, and the second one is easier to maintain the application, and as well as support that application for a long period of time. And the third one is it promotes reusability of the components, so that you don't have to build the objects every time. Instead, we can reuse the components which is built earlier. And also you can do parallel development by increasing the productivity. Like you can have people working on model layer components separately, view layer components separately, and controller layer components separately. Of course, ADF comes with a lot of approaches in terms of architecture to help us to build application in parallel, so that the productivity of the development team can be increased. Also, you can have multiple views for a model. So the core MVC, we saw what is M stands for, V stands for, and C stands for, and what are the individual components. How it maps to ADF is represented here. The JSF page is the view, which is nothing but the presentation layer. That ADF task flow is nothing but the controller, and the ADF bindings is mapped to the model. And the business services, it can be ADF BC or business intelligence services or any other web services. If you use ADF BC, the data can come from Oracle DB, or it can come from MySQL Server DB or SQL Server DB. So the ADF BC encapsulates the DB layer and provides business services, which is in turn is used by the ADF bindings to render the content back to the view, as well as the controller response to the user action. And this is standard ADF Fusion application. You have in the view layer, we have JSPX page and we have JSF page. On the controller layer, we have the ADF controller, and then we have the ADF task flows. And the model layer is nothing but the ADF bindings. And the business services is nothing but ADF BC, which is primarily used in ADF Fusion application. Of course, you can base your business service based on web services or OBI services. All those things also you can use. Thanks for watching this.